cheering for.
Right. All right, guys. So we're gonna get going. Basically, the whole point in the workshop tonight. Who in here wants to know that despite like bird flu and swine flu and goldfish flu and Ebola and everything else that comes out, basically that you know that your immune system is going to be strong enough to take care of it. Right, that's the entire point in this workshop, because I mean you see all of this stuff all over the news. You know, I just had a phone call from somebody who I really, I would never even question that they'd have. Even have any doubts about how their body works and everything. Just got a call. I got to call them after the workshop because they're not feeling well and apparently are concerned that it might be swine flu. So you know what my answer was? Get your butt to the workshop. Like, get to the workshop, because we're going to toss all of that stuff completely under the rug tonight. So I mean, that's the whole purpose in tonight, is just to show you that most of the stuff, number one, what you're hearing is just the same old stuff that you've been hearing your entire life, about every little thing that comes out. And I'm not going to get into the reasons why. That's not important. The bottom line is you just need to know it's junk. But number two, why people are buying into it, and the real reason behind how you actually keep your immune system healthy, so that you know that you don't have to worry about these kind of things. You can live your life, you can know that you're doing the right steps, so a lot of this is going to be me asking you questions. I did this a little bit differently tonight because the way that people learn is by asking questions. So I'm going to be asking you the questions tonight, and you're actually going to be teaching me the workshop essentially. Does that make sense?
As long as you don't ask us any questions.
And what'd you do? You sat in the front row anyways. Yeah. Okay, so, all right, so here's the thing. Swine flu, this was as of yesterday. I mean, I wanted to wait until the last minute to pull this up, so that we got the fresh statistics, because by God, we didn't want to do the workshop last week. Like, I write the worksheet last week, and then all of a sudden the pandemic blows up in my face, and I'm standing here not knowing what I'm talking about, right? So I wanted to make sure I got the latest information. Okay, this is the latest information directly off of the World Health Organization website. Okay, you could go and pull this up today. And basically what it shows you is where swine flu has been reported across the globe and how many actual deaths have been reported because of swine flu. Okay, so you notice the cases here. In the entire world, a whopping 177,000 cases have been reported of swine flu. Okay, 177,000. So in the entire world, we've got about half the population of Mobile that's actually sick. In the entire world. There's how many billions of people on the planet today? 6.4 billion people. So what percentage is 177,000? It's nothing. I mean, it's nothing. Yet there. I mean, you turn on the news and you think half the global population has swine flu. And that half of us are, growing pig snouts and cleft hooves, because, I mean, it's insane. So 177,000, but, okay, so they got it. Now let's say it's deadly. I mean, let's say that it really was a deadly virus, right? Okay, so you would expect that there would have a high percentage of death. Well, guess what? 1,400 people in the entire world have died, apparently because of the swine flu. 1,400 people. So 1,400 of 177,000, that's less than 1% of people that have reportedly gotten the swine flu, which, did they really die from the swine flu? That's kind of got to make you ask the questions too, and we'll answer that as we go. But less than 1% of them that even got this so-called terrible virus have even died from it. Does this not sound reminiscent of the whole bird flu thing? That everybody freaked out about the bird flu thing. Did you know that we bought billions of dollars in vaccines for bird flu? Yeah, billions of dollars. The taxpayer money goes to who? Who does it go to? Well, pharmaceutical companies. Okay, so Novartis gets the contract for the swine flu vaccine. They get billions of dollars for the swine flu vaccine. And it's killed 1,400 people. So we're going to inoculate the entire world, and I'm going to get to the scary details here in a second, but they're planning on basically inoculating the entire world for something that's killed 1,400 people. I mean, you take the numbers and you start looking at these things. I mean, how many shark attacks are there in the world? In the last in the last year, how many people have died from electrocution? How many people have died from drowning in swimming pools? You look at all these different factors, and basically you come to the realization, why are we picking this and not all these other things? Why aren't we shutting down public pools? And why aren't we, shutting off electricity? Because, hey, it kills people, right? We better just shut down electrical grids completely. The bottom line is, it all goes towards profit. So this is really interesting. This was down at the bottom of the screen on the website that showed this map. It said, given that countries are no longer required to test and report individual cases, the number of cases reported actually understates the real number of cases. Well, if it's so darn serious, why aren't they requiring that people actually report it? Right. It's basically like, okay, so alright, so not as many people are getting sick from this thing, so what do we do now? Oh, I get it. Let's just tell everybody not to report it. That way we can say, well, the numbers are actually bigger than 1,400, right? Because we just won't report it at all, and then we can continue to blow smoke in people's faces. It's just insane. Does everybody get that? I mean, it's just insane. Plain and simple. So why not the stink on tuberculosis? Okay, this is a map off of the same website. This was from 2007. The number of new tuberculosis cases by country for 2007. You see these two ones here in red? 1 million. Okay, that's estimated number of new TB cases, all forms. So over 1 million new cases of TB in both these major parts of Asia and in India. Okay, you look in these other countries, in the dark orange here, all these African countries, all up in here in, what is it, the Russian Republic now, or Soviet Republic, down here in the islands here, that's up to 1 million. Okay, so we've got millions of cases of tuberculosis. Why not the stink on that? Why are we making a big deal about tuberculosis? Has anybody seen that? I mean, I haven't seen anything about tuberculosis really ever that I can recall that they've been talking about, what, tuberculosis is a serious problem, we need to do something about it. They're not talking about it. So it's not hot right now, and so we'll just go with the next new thing. It's like the next Amazon berry juice. Whatever is hot on the market, that's what everybody all of a sudden starts gravitating towards. So the bottom line is, you can't listen to what's going on in the major media. It's basically it's just there to steer masses of people. It's all, and the funny thing is that every time that something new comes out, they steer more people and more people and more people. It's like a snowball effect. Anybody ever read the story? Never, Cry Wolf or whatever, or what is the name of that story? Okay, yeah. So I mean, we've all heard that story. You'd think we'd all recall it from, I know you guys all do, but you'd think most people would recall or would know that story and be thinking, you know what, I think there's a problem here. So, medical errors, on the other hand, leading cause of death. Okay, the Journal of the American Medical Association. This was the Starfield article. She showed that the report apparently shows there are 2,000 deaths per year from unnecessary surgery, 7,000 deaths per year from medication errors in hospitals. That's actually in hospitals. 20,000 deaths per year from other errors in hospitals. 80,000 deaths per year from infections in hospitals. Infections, if we're talking about infectious here. 106,000 deaths from non-error. Non-error, that means exactly what they're supposed to do, and still 106,000 people die. Adverse effects of medications. These total up to 225,000 deaths per year in the U.S. from iatrogenic cause, which ranks these deaths as a number 3 killer. And that's just what's reported. But here's the irony behind the whole thing. We got the swine flu that has only killed 1,400 people, and we're going to buy all these pharmaceuticals that kill 225,000 people per year, and that's going to be our answer. The ultimate of ironies. What about the vaccine? You guys have probably seen this video already, but...
I had a flu shot last year. A swine flu. Swine flu shot? Well, I don't know. I've been thinking about it. It could make you very sick.
I wasn't around in this time frame, but does anybody remember this? 1976?
I'm the healthiest 55-year-old you ever seen. Hey, I play golf every weekend. Get a shot of protection. The swine flu shot.
1976. I love this one.
He gave it to Betty and one of his kids, and to Betty's mother. But Betty's mother went back to California the next day. On the way to the airport, she gave it to a cab driver, a ticket agent, and one of the charming...
Was that Shaft?
Joe's kid gave it to some other kids, and Mrs. Merrill got it and gave it to her husband. In California, Betty's mother gave it to her best friend, Dottie. But Dottie had a heart condition and she died. But before she died, Dottie gave it to her girlfriend, the mailman, the paper boy, and the vet when she went to pick up her chihuahua.
I don't trust Betty. She gave it to the mailman and the paper boy.
Especially if you're elderly or chronically ill. Get a shot of protection. The swine flu shot.
Okay, so that was 1976. Nobody in here remembers that? Yeah, they basically ran the same campaign because swine flu was going to be a big thing that was going to kill a lot of people. But see, media wasn't as big, it wasn't as dominating at that period of time, it wasn't as coordinated either, so that's why you didn't see as much of it. But this article just came out the other day, Sunday, August 16, 2009. Health officials warn of H1N1 vaccines linked to deadly nerve disease. British health officials have warned doctors of possible similarities between the new H1N1 vaccine and a shot linked to 25 deaths in the U.S. in the 1970s. The British government's Health Protection Agency said in a letter to neurologists that they needed to look out for increases in cases of a brain disorder that might follow the launch of the immunization program, which, by the way, is it being tested? No! It's being tested in the general population because they have to get it out fast. I mean, we've already seen 1,400 deaths. We've got to get it out fast or else we're going to be in trouble. So they've bypassed completely the testing process and they're just going to start dumping this stuff into people. Okay, the letter has been sent because of concerns sparked by studying of the swine flu vaccination campaign in the U.S. in the 1970s and the new one. In 1976, Washington rushed in a mass vaccination program against a similar swine flu outbreak that was confined to a single military base. And it killed 25 people. Several hundred cases of a rare, lethal, paralyzing neurological disease called Guillain-Barré syndrome were reported afterwards, and although no clear link was ever found to the vaccine, the incident made many mistrustful of immunizations. Yet you look right on the side of the bottle and what does it say? Contains thimerosal, which is mercury. So is it, they say that there's no link, yet you look at the side of the bottle and it says it contains mercury. Would you say that mercury is also linked to lethal, paralyzing neurological disease? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So this is what they're going to rush out and they're going to try and force. They're trying to force on all the kids. Not only are the kids required this year, so I hear, to take 2 regular flu shots, but they're saying 2 swine flu shots also. So on top of all the vaccines, you know what? We don't have enough autism yet, right? Right. Let's give some more people autism. Let's screw everybody else up a little bit more. So anybody want to rush out and get their dose of mercury? Yeah, I don't think so. Most people won't if they knew what was going on. But there's no talk about it. I mean, if you watch TV, all they're going to do is ramp up the scare campaign because they want to dump this crap into you. And now, you know what they're trying to do? I don't know if you've seen this, but they're trying to get the schools as the target zones. That's going to be ground zero. That they're actually going to, who in here has kids in school or has neighbor kids or family children? Okay, yeah, so they're going into the schools. They're wanting to use the school nurses to be mass vaccinating the kids right there on the spot. They said, hey, you know what? Well, kids are the most susceptible, and it seems to be pregnant women are more susceptible, so we ought to just go straight to where the kids are. So while little Jimmy's, off in school, little Jimmy doesn't have the parent there telling him, no, I have a letter of exemption on file, don't touch my kid, and he is getting vaccinated in the mass, just with everybody else.
The Kids program, they're calling the parents at home and make an appointment to reserve their shot.
My goodness. Yeah. It's just, it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Stop that.
Huh?
Is there any way to stop that?
Yeah, educate people.
No, I'm talking about if your kid was in school, do you have a way to say, no, my kid...
The second that I found out that, I mean, honestly, the second that I found out that they actually had those vials in the school, my child would stop attending. I mean, it's literally that serious. I would not send them another day. I'd say until you get that crap out of the school, that it is not on the premises, my child is not returning to school. And I would be at every PTA meeting. I would be writing letters to the school board. I would be in an absolute fury about what's going on because it's bogus. They don't have the information. But I mean, imagine if we could get the actual principals to understand this stuff.
Why can't you go and talk to them? I mean, that would be...
Love to.
Oh.
Who's going to set it up? Yeah.
I'm working at our school.
Yeah. Set me up. Set me up. By the way, they canceled the movie.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. They called and canceled the movie. So you need to check into that. Okay. So why none of this matters? I mean, this is really the bottom line. This is why it doesn't even matter, and this is where I'm going to get into actually asking the questions. The germ theory, if you look in, this is off of dictionary.com. It's a noun, okay, under the terms pathology. It is the theory, which by definition means guess or conjecture, that infectious diseases are due to the agency or the exerting of power or influence of germs or microorganisms. Okay? The big key there is it's the germ theory, right? Okay, so let's ask some questions here. If you cough or sneeze on me, will I get sick?
No.
No. Not every time, right? That sounds weird. I mean, if it's a germ, I should get sick, right? Okay. So we already have a problem in the whole germ theory thing, right? I mean, it was just one simple question. We already have a big fat hole in the germ theory. Okay. If I eat chicken that has salmonella, will I always get sick? No. You know, it's funny because I thought we tested this last night because my wife cooked some chicken on the grill, and when I was eating it, it was still kind of pink on the inside. And I'm like, hey, you know what? This might actually work all right for the workshop tomorrow because, you know, hey, you know what? I still feel okay. You know, no salmonella. Yeah, you're not always going to get sick. You can have salmonella in there. It doesn't mean you're going to get sick. Okay? It is common to find germs in a healthy person with no disease present, such as diphtheria and tuberculosis, which kills how many people a year? Millions of people. Okay, why can we find pathogenic germs in our body and still not have a disease?
Because your immune system is strong enough to handle it.
Yeah, bingo. I mean, they're in there.
Well,
so why aren't we getting sick?
The people have staph in their nose. That's a normal.
Yeah. And why isn't it chewing our faces off?
Because your immune system keeps it down.
Yeah, interesting questions here. Are white blood cells incapable of killing germs and microorganisms? No, they're perfectly capable, right? I mean, that's what they're there for. White blood cells are... If white blood cells were not capable of killing germs or bacteria, who in here would still be alive? We can all put our hands down, right? I mean, none of us. We'd all be dead already because our white blood cells have to be able to kill those things in order to keep us healthy. If white blood cells work in one person, not in another, why?
Because their immune system is
right. Their immune system is not, if we put one word on it, what is it? Functioning, right? Their immune system is not functioning, okay? So if we looked at your blood today, every one of you, what would we find?
White blood cells.
Huh?
Mine are low.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not as far as white blood cells. What germs do you think we might find?
All kinds.
All kinds of stuff. You know what? Some of us might even have swine flu. You know, some of us might have bird flu. I don't know. I mean, some of us may have something that's never been talked about before, but some of us may have tuberculosis and diphtheria and pertussis and all this other stuff in our blood. We usually carry around somewhere within our bodies. I mean, think about it for just a second. These bacteria are small and they exist in billions and billions all over the environment, in your body, all over the place. Do you think that you're going to find, I mean, if you looked in every nook, cranny, and crevice in your entire body, don't you think you'd find a lot of stuff? Oh yeah, I mean, it's all over in there. So you have that stuff in your body. Why aren't you sick? Come on, I mean, you're supposed to be sick.
Your immune
Wouldn't you guys just get sick already? You know, improve the germ theory, right? Yeah. You know, if white blood cells did their job last week, but you got sick today, why? I mean, you had the same stuff in your system. So why did you not get sick last week, but you're sick now?
It could be stress or
Power
a lot of it.
Oh, okay, so there's outside factors at hand. So something interfered with
The immune system.
function, the immune system. Yeah, right. Okay, what controls if white blood cells function effectively or not?
When your power's turned on.
Bingo, good answer. When your power's turned on. Yeah, the same thing that controls every other function in the body. The nerve system, the power of life that flows and works in the body and keeps it healthy and alive. It's the innate intelligence. That's what controls white blood cells. So if they're not functioning effectively, you know there's a problem there. You know that there's a problem with overall function in the body. If function is at 100%, how will germs affect you?
They won't.
Are you sure? Here's where it really gets interesting. If your body is functioning, if your body HC is functioning at 100%, and I cough on you with, or you know, I throw some phlegm across the room of you infected with swine flu, and it hits you, and you breathe it in, or you know, get some globbed in your mouth or something, what's going to happen? You got a good visual there, right? You're going to vomit all over Earlman. Yeah, exactly. You're going to, what's your immune system going to do?
It's going to react.
Bingo. Identify, react, create what? Antibodies. And we call that immunity. That's the way that the system works. It creates immunity. So anytime your body is functioning at 100%, do you want to never get exposed to something, or do you want to get exposed to something?
You want to get exposed so your system will work.
Wait a second. No, come on. What are you talking about? That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Why in the world would you fly to Mexico? Crazy, ain't it? Yeah, I mean, it's, you want to get affected by stuff. You want to get exposed to things when you're healthy, because then your body reacts. Haven't you ever heard about the crazy parents, you know, that their kid, you know, one of the neighbor kids gets chicken pox, and that crazy parent is like, ooh, you know, let's bring little Jimmy over there. Haven't you ever thought that's just, yeah, that's just completely nuts. You know, no way you do that. I mean, the kid might die from chicken pox. He hasn't had his chicken pox vaccine.
Yeah, but they're thinking when they get older it's worse.
Yeah, you know, so inherently they have it built in there somewhere that if they bring little Jimmy over to the neighbor kid while he's healthy, that he's going to get exposed, but he's going to be okay and he's going to build an immunity because of that. So really the parent inadvertently understands how immunity really works and knows that the germ theory is bull crap, right? I mean, that's really the bottom line. So, okay, so what's the most effective means of staying healthy and disease-free? This will really trip you out.
It's a trick question. Keeping your immune system built.
Bingo. You maintain function, and then what do you do with that function while you have it maintained? You build on it. How do you build on it?
Being out in the public.
Yeah, bring the rain, right? Yeah, bring the rain. Get yourself, I mean, you get exposed to things while you're healthy, and you get, haven't you ever seen the guys that train, you know, snakes, or, you know, they you know, do the snake, the crocodile hunter, right? You know, how many times was that guy bit by poisonous snakes? But after you get bit a number of times, what does your body do? It builds up a resistance to that venom to where it doesn't even bother you anymore. So you can now get bit, time and time again, and it doesn't really affect you. It doesn't kill you like it might the next guy who has a weakened immune system. So you want to be exposed to stuff. You literally build your body's immune system by being exposed to stuff. Think about it this way. How many doctors in hospitals, I wish one of my patients here that's actually works in a hospital, I wish he was here because the perfect question for him. How many doctors do you see that they're in the hospital and they're around all these infected patients all the time, and nurses too, and how often do they get sick? Why aren't they sick all the time? Because the germ theory is not true. Plain and simple, their bodies are getting built by being around those people. They're actually getting healthier by being around those people. They're not dying from the same things, even though they're taking care of that patient. So have we effectively just smeared the germ theory all over the table? Okay, so everybody understands that it's not being exposed and you'll never get duped into that again. Okay, so now we know that we got to concentrate on function. So, is it the nerve system that makes all the difference in the world? Are you sure?
We thought it was a good answer because you're the doctor.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. That's a nerve system, right? How's that nerve system going to do pretty cool picture, ain't it? How's that nerve system going to do at fighting off bird flu and swine flu?
What sends communication?
No, I mean literally that nerve system right there.
No.
Wait a second, it's not going to do anything? Why?
Looks pretty dead to me.
Because it's not in a body, right, number one, and it's not alive, number two. Okay, so is it the nerve system that makes the difference?
It's the function of the nerve.
Okay, and that's what this is all about. Does that guy have, is that guy going to be able to heal from the swine flu? No, he doesn't have a functioning nerve system, but it's not the nerve system. That's the whole concept I want to bring down, is it's not the nerve system. So if it's not the nerve system, what is it?
It's your brain.
That is a brain, right?
I know, but it has to control.
What is it that flows through the nerve system? What's the difference between a living person and a dead person?
Blood.
Well, the blood's in there too, yeah. Heartbeat's in there too. What makes the heartbeat? What makes the blood pump? Electrical impulse, okay. So that's good. That's probably the closest. So what is that electrical impulse?
The nerves.
Energy.
No, the nerves are just the physical lines of communication. Energy, okay, we're getting closer. What is that energy? Starts with an L.
Life.
It's called life, yeah.
No.
What is life?
No.
It's the power. It's the power that runs over the nerve system. See, and I wanted to make sure that I threw that in there because a lot of times, we get so wrapped up in the nerve system, the brain and the nerves and all this stuff that it becomes this physical thing, and everybody forgets that the nerve system by itself does nothing. It's like the computer that doesn't have electricity to it. If you don't have the electricity, if you don't have the power flowing over your nerve system, you don't live. You don't heal. You don't function. It's the power that makes all the difference in the world. Does that make sense? So you want to keep that power functioning at 100%. So that power is literally innate intelligence. That's it. Sweet, isn't it? Innate intelligence is the unifying power within the body that coordinates function and maintains the body even as the environment changes through the power of adaptation. That innate intelligence is that power that lets you adapt to your environment and every single thing that you're exposed to so that you're not affected by it. Subluxation is simply the interference of that coordinated effort and can be due to physical, chemical, or energetic means. Energetic meaning mental, emotional, right? Cell phone radiation. There's lots of electromagnetic interference. Well, I guess that like MRIs, that would still be electromagnetic interference. Just these three things, they interfere with that coordinated function. That's why it shuts down that life from being able to flow across the body and create a state of health and well-being. So literally, God or innate intelligence within the body needs no help to maintain health and function, just no interference. That comes from, this is actually one of the one of the traditional phrases in chiropractic. God needs no help, just no interference. God needs no help, just no interference. Think about that. God needs no help, just no interference. Does that not sound like a good analogy to live by? Okay? But literally what that means, God is that innate power of God within the body. That is actually a physical force thing within the body. It's not some, mystical power. I mean, it's literally that thing that we call life, that we can tell visibly with our eyes, that makes a difference between you and the dead guy down at the morgue. That is the difference, and no help just means just to maintain that health and function, just maintaining the body in its original order, the way that it's supposed to work. The only thing that you can do to do that is just no interference, plain and simple. Okay, so if we want to stay away from the bird flu and the swine flu and all this other stuff, what do? We remove interference. Get the interference out of the way, and does that innate power that took those two cells and formed a baby inside of the womb that now grew up into a full-grown adult like each one of you guys here, okay, does that power know what to do about the swine flu? Do you really think it knows how to adapt to the environment no matter what comes out? It doesn't matter if it's swine flu or bird flu or, they come up with a new thing, inchworm flu. It doesn't matter. The same thing goes. The innate intelligence knows what to do, or we'd all already be extinct. Plain and simple, right? So that is the big thing, first and foremost. So how do you build a titanium immune system based on that? Okay, well, putting better quality nutrients make the body function better or worse? Better. Okay, definitely better. Any doubts to that? Okay, so we all know that it's going to make the body function better. How often then should you put high quality nutrients in?
Every day.
Every day? How about as much as possible, right? How often should you put bad nutrients into the body or anti-nutrients into the body? Never, right? Okay, so simple means of function. We know we should put good quality nutrients in, keep the bad quality nutrients out. How many in here are doing that 100% effectively? Not I, right? I mean, I can't say that either. But do you think we should be striving towards that if we want to build a titanium immune system that literally makes you untouchable? Absolutely. Okay, what are the core nutrients every person should be taking? Plain and simple, you should be getting green leafy vegetables. You should be getting probiotics and digestive enzymes. You should be getting fatty acids. So if you're not getting those core things, that's why we have the core nutrition that I always recommend to everybody. Probably 10 times today I've been going through the core nutrition with everybody. Because those are just the basic things that every person should be getting, and it's very hard to get it outside. So if you're not doing those things from your food, you've got to supplement somehow. So the easy way, if you haven't gotten the sheet, Paleo Greens, Pro Omega RX. Piece of cake. It's just two things. That way you get your core nutrients. But does that mean that since you're getting those core nutrients that you can eat whatever you want to? No. Not at all. You can't. If you go and you now start packing your gullet full of fried chicken, then we're going to have issues. Okay. Will maintaining abundant movement in the body improve function? Yes. Absolutely. How much movement is required in order to keep the organs fully functional? Can we quantify that? Probably not, right? So what would you guess would be a safe answer there? How about as much as possible, right? As much as possible. What is the most efficient means known to accomplish this? Exercise. Wow, this is getting really lame, isn't it? It's like if you've ever read a book on finance. If you read any books on money or finance or anything like that, it's like you get the new book and you pop it open and you start reading it, and guess what? It's the same stuff. It's the same stuff that they've been saying for 200 years, because are the principles ever going to change? They're not going to change. Okay, so the most efficient means is exercise. Now, really, the most efficient means if you're not exercising right now, does 6 to 12 minutes a day sound good? Yeah, I mean 6 to 12 minutes, that's what we do every day. So the 12-minute revolution, I mean, piece of cake. It's like you're done. You can do half the time, do it in 6 minutes. If you got the extra 6 minutes that you can spare, you know, because we're busy, then you can do the full 12 minutes, right? You know, but piece of cake, it's the most efficient means. Now, will keeping toxins out of the body help it to function better or worse? It's going to help it to function better. So on that note, how many toxins should you keep out of the body? As much as possible. Oh, we're getting the hang of it here. Okay, what should be done about the toxins currently in your body? How? Detox. Okay, so if you're not detoxing, there's 100 different means of detoxing. You know, if you want help on that too, we can certainly go through that. But that's why we preach detox. You know, because that's just one of the 5 essentials. You got to detox. It's for normal function, building a titanium immune system. Okay, will having a positive attitude, low stress, etc. help the body to fight disease or make you sick? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, how often should you guard your thought life? All the time. Yeah, every single day. Will keeping the nerve system clear from subluxation maintain function? Absolutely. How much subluxation and for how long should it be left in the body? As little of the time as possible, right? Anybody want to sign up for the once a month program? Right? I mean, it's like the goal we get wrapped up in that, is that, we want to get back to maintenance as quick as possible, right? If I had another chiropractor in this office, I would be getting adjusted every single day, like April. Staff, they get adjusted like every single day, and you know what? I can't even remember the last time, except for a new employee, that I've had to give somebody a sick day. It just doesn't happen. Because why? We're building a titanium immune system into our staff members. So you don't want to leave subluxation in the body. It's robbing your immune system. Okay, what will happen if you habitually abuse or ignore any of these factors? You get sick. So how many of us could we say honestly are habitually ignoring or abusing any of these factors? Let's go ahead and be honest and raise our hands here. Right, okay, so it's time to change, right? It's time to start getting back to the basics. What will happen if you make maximized living a way of life, for life? Just imagine that for a second. Just literally imagine that starting today, okay, you started clearing out all the junk out of your diet. All the stuff even the stuff that you like, you clear that out. And you ate nothing but, let's say, raw foods like raw vegetables and ate small portions of meat. You did everything like pristine clear, distilled water. You made sure that everything was perfect. You got the best quality nutrients into the body, supplements. Let's say that you start getting adjusted every single day, twice a day, 3 times a day. You had a resident chiropractor in your home that you never had to pay for, right? Okay, let's say that that you exercise every morning, that you got up at 6 a.m. sharp, ready to go, powers on, and you get up and you do your 12 minutes of exercise, and then you spend 2 hours running on the beach later that afternoon and walking the dog and all this stuff.
Where's he at?
You didn't, right? Yeah, you didn't have to. Let's say you didn't have to work, and so you could just work on building your mentality all day long. You didn't have any stress in your life. Imagine what that life would be like. Just imagine imagine raising kids in that model. Would that not be insane? So does it make sense why we want to strive? Can we ever hit that? Really, honestly. I haven't figured it out yet, and I live this stuff, but I haven't figured out how to do it like that. But imagine when you strive towards that every single day, you get closer and closer to that. And, it's pretty darn good, right? Okay, so what if I do get sick? What if I do get sick, or I'm sick right now, right? So here's the steps. So what if me or my family do get infected with pig flu? Okay, the first thing is, like I said, if you got infected, let's say that little Jimmy, goes to school and they say that, he got infected with swine flu. The first thing, stay home. You know, get them home. Stay home. If they don't leave the house, then, you know, they can call you and say, you know, well, he's not vaccinated. You know what? He's quarantined. You know, no, he's not getting out, so what are you worried about? He's quarantined. There's nothing you can do. You know, but on the other hand, you know, start doing the things to stack the immune system. Start doing all the basic things, but also, you know, things like silver biotics and super Virogon, the superfoods that actually build the immune system, the antivirals, you know, all these different things. She could probably give you, you know, 50 more too down at the Health Hut. I mean, there's like all these different things that you can do. I mean, there's 100 different things that you can do, but the bottom line is it doesn't take much to get your body back to health. But the big thing is you don't want to, I mean, in this kind of an environment, the way that people are freaking out, the last thing that you do is go out, right? You know, you just make sure that your family is taken care of and healthy at home. And I mean, even if people do get, you know, all of a sudden you have this massive outbreak, let's say it does really happen, you know, and we have this massive outbreak, plain and simple, stay home. You know, stay home as much as possible, and you know, or if it does happen, you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm not going to be staying home. I'm going to be right here adjusting people, and I'm not going to be wearing a mask. You know, but I'm going to be making sure that my diet is clean, that I'm not missing my supplements, that I'm not missing my adjustments, that I'm exercising every day, that I'm getting adequate sleep. I'm not going to allow a crack in my immune system for that opportunistic organism to take hold, right? Okay, so what is the first thing you must restore if you do lose function? I'm going to give a t-shirt to whoever gets this answer.
It's the function.
There you go. For the easy one there. Yeah. You're officially a quack. What is it? Yeah, I mean, if you lose function, you restore function, plain and simple. You know, that's the easiest thing to do. So how do you do that? You know, you can answer all that now. If you had late-stage cancer, what kind of diet should you maintain, or would you maintain? Well, I can't say would. I'll say should, right? Because a lot of people have late-stage cancer and they don't do squat about it. So what kind of diet should you maintain? As good as possible, right? An excellent one. Okay? So if that's the case, why not do it right now? I mean, if it's good for a cancer patient and you don't want to get cancer, why wouldn't you just start early and practice prevention, right? So as good as possible. As above, what quality of supplements should we seek after? As good as possible. You know, you just want to make sure that you're getting the right nutrients in. Why wait? I should lay around in bed all day, every day if I get sick, right? Chicken noodle soup, is that a good thing? No, I mean, our kids get sick, and it's like, you know, is sleep a good thing when you're sick? Yeah, sure. I mean, you do want to lay around a little bit, but the worst thing that you can do is lay inside all day long in the house, not getting any sunlight, any vitamin D, laying on the couch like a log. How is your lymphatic system going to be moving and getting your white blood cells flowing throughout your body and working up your immune system and stirring it up without you getting off your butt? It's not going to happen. You know, so people go into a hospital and they lay in a bed and they wonder why they just slowly rot away, because they're not able to get up and move and do the things that keep a healthy person functional. So if you know what it takes to be healthy, to keep your body at maximum function, and you're sick over here, what do you want to do as much of as you can? What this person over here is doing, right? So that does not, to stay healthy, you don't go and lay down inside on your back all day long eating chicken noodle soup. So why would you do it when you're sick? See, it's completely backwards. So should I worry about detoxification if I get sick? Actually, no, not really. Yeah, this is the one thing I wanted to throw you off a little bit there, throw you for a loop, keep you guessing. No, I mean, if you got sick, I would actually tell you to stop doing the detox, until you recover, because when you're actively detoxifying the body, you're dumping more and more toxin in the body. So if you're already sick, you already got this other stuff in your system. That's work now that you're exerting on yourself by dumping more toxins into the system, right? Do you want to do that? No, you want to be able to concentrate, focus. Think about it like a military engagement. You concentrate your fire higher on the problem. So if you're detoxing, that's kind of distorting your concentrated focus. So you want to stop detoxing, but here's a beauty: your body will detoxify adequately on its own. It's called vomiting and diarrhea and sweating, right? And fever. Those are active detoxification processes. What powerful measures of insurance can I pack on just in case? Just in case you really, you just really want to make sure that your body is functioning the best possible. The things that we use, the Silverbiotics, you can be taking that multiple different ways on a daily basis. Let's say there was a pandemic and people around you really were getting sick, that you actually saw people getting sick, starting to take the Silverbiotics every day. If you're traveling to an area where you're not sure what disease are they, what do we tell you to do? Silverbiotics, Super Viragon, maybe the total immune growth factors, high doses of vitamin C, getting extra vitamin D. I mean, there's a lot of these different things that you can do. Go ahead.
I mean, can you just build your own immune system without taking all this stuff? I mean,
can you? Yeah. Exercise, eat right, get adjusted.
But you can do all that without taking.
Yeah, without taking all those million other things. That's just that's really just for the person that says, okay, well, I'm already doing all that stuff, right? But if I do travel or I do see people, what do I do just in case? We always want that insurance policy, and I'm all about that. I mean, it's like, how much insurance should you have on your business or on your home? Good insurance, right? I mean, you want to make sure that you are completely covered on your car, whatever it is. You want to make sure that you're completely covered, that if something happened, you're covered. So it's the same thing with your body. I mean, you want to pack on the insurance, but that doesn't mean you should be taking that stuff all the time. That's just in drastic measures. Okay, that's like when they declare martial law, right? So if sickness and disease is not where I want to be, what should I do today and for the rest of my life? Bingo, all the things that we just talked about. So, I know most of us walked in here, including myself, not doing all these things 100%. So, did this help you to get to a level to where you're committed to doing it to a higher level? Okay, because I mean, that's really the entire goal of the workshop, is just getting you to, getting everybody to move towards that next level, taking the next step to build their immune system so that you get to that next level where you don't have to worry. Okay? Go ahead and watch this quick video here.
When is the last time you went to a chiropractor to tune up your immune system? We mostly think of our immune system only when it's not working right, when we come down with a cold or flu, or even a more serious disease. But our body's immune system is really there to keep us healthy. In fact, that's its job, to adapt, react, and provide a defense system against anything that we come in contact with that could lead to illness. You might even say that the only time you can possibly get sick is when your immune system is not able to do its job. Our body's immune system is like our country's defense system, made up of weapons and armies to fight off dangerous threats. The weapons and armies of the immune system are the organs, glands, white blood cells, and chemical messengers that protect us from toxins and the opportunistic germs that are present every day in our lives, just waiting for a weakness in the system. But just like our country's army, our body's immune system does not act on its own. Our immune system is under the direct influence and command of our body's nervous system. Many modern scientists are now arguing that the immune system and the nervous system are so intimately involved that they are practically the same system. Signals travel from our brain down our nerves and out to the organs, glands, and cells for our immune system to call this defense system into action anytime an outside threat is detected. And then it's the nervous system that shuts down our immune system once the outside threat has been eliminated. This is where chiropractors come in. Chiropractors work with the nervous system by removing spinal misalignments called subluxations that can interfere with the nerve communication between the brain and the body. Interference of the nervous system can limit the body's ability to function at 100%, including the function of the immune system. By adjusting and realigning the spine, chiropractors reduce and remove this interference to the nerves in order to promote better balance and function in the body. If this were true, then you would think that chiropractic patients would enjoy better health, right? In 1989, Dr. Ronald Pirro, the chief cancer prevention researcher at New York's Prevention Medicine Institute and professor of medicine at New York University, set out to test this theory. Since cancer is recognized as an immune system problem, Dr. Pirro decided to check the immune systems of people under chiropractic care as compared to people in the general population and to people with cancer or other serious disease. In a 3-year study of 107 individuals who had been under regular chiropractic care for at least 5 years, he found that this chiropractic group had a 200% greater immune function than the general public. More than this, he found that the chiropractic group had a 400% greater immunity than people with cancer and other disease. In his conclusion, Dr. Pirro reported, "I have never seen a group other than this chiropractic group to experience a 200% increase over the normal patients." A different study done at Life Chiropractic University in 1994 showed similar findings. The researchers took a group of HIV-positive patients and treated them with chiropractic adjustments over a 6-month period. What they found was that the patients that were adjusted had an increase of 48% in the CD4 cells, an important immune system component. These measurements were taken at the patient's independent medical center, where they were under medical supervision for the condition. The control group, the patients that were not adjusted, did not demonstrate this dramatic increase in immune function, but actually experienced a 7.96% decrease in CD4 cell counts over the same period. This study was stopped before its conclusion so that the control group could begin to get chiropractic treatments as well. Yet another, simpler study was done to test the theory by comparing the general health and wellness of the children of chiropractic families versus the children of medical pediatricians. They found that the kids of chiropractors across the country missed less days from school due to illness than kids of pediatricians. What does all this mean outside of the research lab and in the real world? It means less sick days from work and more time to live life. It means less risk of some disease that can change your life overnight. Regular chiropractic treatment, along with proper diet, reduced stress, and regular exercise, is the best insurance policy a person can purchase to stay healthy and enjoy a higher quality of life.
All right, so, yeah, plain and simple, just out of the information that you just got there, you got to start considering, okay, friends and family and the people around you, who in here knows somebody that they love, they care about, but is not doing those things, is not even just getting adjusted. Let's just take the simple one, just not getting adjusted. Okay, so do you think that that's, is that really acceptable to you individually, that they're not getting to experience the same benefits? Just when you really start considering the information, and what you get down to is where, when you really start to consider all of it together, where I am in my headspace of I don't care who you are. I don't care if I meet you at Dillard's or I meet you at, Moe's or, wherever it is. I'm going to tell you, if I get the window of opportunity, I'm going to tell you what what you can do right now in order to improve your health and get to that next level. So yet I know that there's a lot of even our patients who don't have their very families under care. Whether it's direct family members or it's extended family members or good friends, that are in the area that maybe in a lot of cases haven't even told them or even suggested to them. And it's not really, it's not their fault. It's just the bottom line is, if everybody knew all of that and really, and had that sinking in every day, do you think would all of us be telling everybody that we knew? If this really was sunk into our brains deep every single day. Yeah, the next time somebody says, you know what, I'm not feeling so good, my stomach, and, I've been getting these headaches and stuff, it would be like, I know exactly what you need to do. I know exactly what the next step is. You need to start getting your power turned on so we can restore function back into the body, right? Okay, so next Monday we actually have our Patient Appreciation Day. So anybody that brings a friend, it's a $10 donation for the friend. That covers the entire family. So it's like, your neighbors, they've got, the mom and dad, and they got 3 kids. It's $10 for the entire family. That's a donation to the Maximize Living Foundation, and that includes all their digital x-rays if they need it. But for you getting out there and helping people and actually helping them to move towards being able to have a better immune system and not have to worry about all this stuff, you actually, the first 20 that sign somebody up are actually going to be adjusted free that day. So if you know somebody, write their name down, let April know up front on the way out, because we're going to be letting everybody know about this, but I reserved it just for the workshop tonight, that you guys would have the first opportunity to be able to add on an extra adjustment. So, I mean, if I literally monetarily said, hey, I'm going to give you $30 just to tell somebody else how to be healthy, who in here would say no? Right? I mean, I got a $30 check in my pocket, I'll slap it down for you just to tell somebody, hey, you know what, you might want to get healthy and actually get checked out and make sure that you don't have a major dysfunction underneath. I mean, you got to be kidding me, right? So anybody in? Everybody in for that? Yeah? Can we talk to somebody? Okay, so, obviously there's no cap on how many people you can send in, but like I said, it's only the first 20. We can only accept 20 for Monday, so make sure that you get that laid out first and foremost. I want to give just a minute to answer any questions, if you guys have any specific questions on the content or outside of the content.
Well, they usually come to the school and ask us if we want to get the flu shot. Some of them have already asked, are we going to get the swine flu shot?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to get it, but what would you say, what would be the reason that you would tell them not to get the flu shot or of course I know the swine flu, but just the regular flu shot, other than the mercury in the system?
The biggest thing is, what I would tell you is, I would be like, and this is my personality, I'd be like, you know what, I'm not just going to tell them no and kind of make up a reason. I'm going to have it there in my hands, and I'm waiting for them to ask me so that I can say, here you go. I can say, here you go, I'm going to actually show you why you shouldn't be giving this to anybody. And you try to give them at least the information so that they know that what they're doing is not what they're planning. I mean, they're doing it just thinking that they're helping, that they're really blocking something out. But, if literally you said, did you know that they're forcing all this stuff on all these kids in the school, and only 177,000 people in the entire world have gotten this thing, and less than 1% of them have actually died? Did you know that? They'd be like, what? Yeah, we don't even have the vaccine, and the numbers are already going down. Last month they actually decreased. All of a sudden you start making people think, I don't know, maybe I should reconsider, or they think you're nuts. So wear your quack shirt, when you go and do it, right? Yeah.
I have a child in school. So how do I keep them from giving it to her without my permission?
You raise hell. It's just literally, you've got to go in there, I would hand deliver a note to both the principal and to the school nurse saying, you will not touch my child. If you do, I have a lawyer. I am, if anything is done to my child outside of my permission, you better give me any exemption forms right now. My child will not receive this. If I find out that he received a shot, it's over. You know what I mean? If you lay that down to that degree, I guarantee you they will be scared out of their pants. They will not forget you. That's your kid will be like, little Johnny will be sitting over on the other side of the room. Nobody's going near little Johnny. They'll probably put like caution tape around him, but you've got to literally lay it out that clear. You can't just go up there and say, hey, can I have a form, for like an exemption thing that I maybe signed, and you can stick away in a file and completely forget about it until it's too late. Yeah, you got to make it. Very well clear.
Well, would they say she's going to have to not come to that school then because
no, they can't.
They can't.
Oh,
Legally,
okay.
I didn't think
Yeah.
they could give you
No, they
that.
can't.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I thought they had to have it signed.
Right. Well, they can't. But the thing is, they still do, because people don't act. You know, because people don't respond. They're, you know, they just don't. You don't have parents that are willing to stand up and just say, you know what, you did it, I'm suing your butt now. You know, and you just made a big mistake. You know, usually parents will just say, well, oh well, I guess, you know, as long as it doesn't cause a problem, then I guess it's okay. You know, as long as they don't see a problem manifest, then it's okay. You know, but you just got to make the lines very, very clear. Anything else? Okay, so that's it. I do want to throw this out there that anybody for future workshops, what we're doing now is if anybody that brings a guest to a workshop, you'll actually get to pick if you want a copy of the DVD of the current workshop, or you can actually grab any of the other DVDs. You'll get a free DVD of a workshop of your choice for bringing a guest to the workshop. And then, of course, anybody that will sign up today and actually, commit that they're going to bring, X person, so that you actually have it on your mind, that yes, I am going to help somebody, we're actually going to give you the PowerPoint from tonight so that you can go back through this stuff and you can share it with somebody else. Okay? All right.
Sign up committing to
Yes, committing to bring somebody on Monday to the Patient Appreciation Day.
which is next Monday.
Next Monday, yep. And that's actually going to be the big day where we're you guys will see everything very different around here. What's the date on that? What's the date today?